What happens when the man who owns the company scrubs fryers with the kids working minimum wage? Jared Fletcher stared at the monthly reports spread across his kitchen table. 19 stores. 19 chances to get it wrong. Profits were up, but complaints had started trickling in. Nothing major, just little things. Late orders, cold burgers, an employee quitting mid-shift. It wasn't enough to panic, but it was enough to make him uneasy. He inherited the business from his father 5 years ago. It was a fast food chain his dad built from the ground up. Jared expanded it, modernized the branding, added online ordering, but one thing he couldn't claim: he'd never worked a single shift in the kitchen. Not once. Lately, he couldn't shake the feeling that somewhere along the way he got too comfortable in his office, so he decided to go undercover. He picked store 13 suburban location, decent reviews but high staff turnover. The manager's name was Craig, a guy Jared had only seen in video meetings. Jared figured it was the right spot: small team, easy to blend in, and no one there had ever met him in person. Most of the employees were teenagers, a few older part-timers. Craig never attended HQ events, always said he was too busy managing the floor. Perfect. He shaved his beard, switched his glasses to contacts, and wore a name tag that read J. Corporate had hired a batch of part-time trainees recently through a third-party hiring agency, so he slipped into the paperwork without raising flags. Monday morning, Jared clocked in at 10 o'clock a.m. sharp. The smell of fryer oil hit him first. "Hey, you the new guy?" A tall girl with a ponytail popped her gum and barely glanced at him. "Yeah, Jay, cool, I'm Jenna, I'll show you the back." He followed her through the kitchen. The floor was slick. Someone had spilled soda near the drive-through window. No one cleaned it. A kid in a headset stepped right over it. "Watch your step," Jenna muttered. In the back, Craig was leaning against the prep counter, scrolling his phone. "Another one, huh?" Craig said, not looking up. "Stick him on fryer." "Jenna, you train him." Jenna nodded and led Jared to the fryer station. She seemed sharp, quick. She explained how to load the baskets, when to pull them, how to drain the oil. Then she whispered, "Don't ask Craig too many questions, he gets real pissy." Jared raised an eyebrow. Noted. By noon, the lunch rush slammed them. Jared's hands burned from the fryer heat. Orders piled up. A kid named Trevor, maybe 16, was flipping burgers on the grill. He looked nervous, like he was trying to do 5 things at once. Craig walked by and barked, "Faster, Trevor." "You want to be here all night?" "I'm trying, you try harder or go home, simple." Jared froze. Trevor's hands shook. He dropped a spatula. Craig rolled his eyes and walked away. Jared leaned over. "You okay?" Trevor nodded quickly, not meeting his eyes. "Yeah, I'm good," but he wasn't. Later that day, Jared was on trash duty with Jenna. "Does he always talk to people like that?" Jared asked. Jenna glanced around before answering. "Yeah, Trevor's new. He's scared of Craig. We all are, kinda. He yells a lot, plays favorites." "Favorites?" "Yeah. Like if you're a girl and you laugh at his jokes, you get the good shifts. If not, you're stuck closing." Jared felt his stomach twist. "How long has that been going on?" Jenna shrugged. "Since I started." 6 months ago. That night after close, Jared watched Craig corner a girl named Lily near the lockers. "You're not on the schedule Friday, but I could squeeze you in," Craig said, leaning too close. "I have school Friday," she said, uncomfortable. Craig scoffed. "Guess someone else wants hours more." Jared stepped in. "Hey, sorry, Lily, I needed to ask you about cleaning the fryer baskets before I lock up." She looked at him, eyes wide with relief. "Yeah, sure." Craig glared at Jared but didn't say anything. When Jared got back to his car, he sat in silence. His shirt smelled like grease. His back ached. But what really hit him was how fast it all had gone wrong. These kids were trying. They were working hard. And Craig was making it hell. Tomorrow, he told himself. Tomorrow I stay longer. I see more. He wasn't done yet. The next morning, Jared arrived before opening. He parked away from the entrance and waited until the lights flicked on inside the store. Through the glass, he saw Lily unlocking the front doors with a key she pulled from her backpack. She was alone. He entered through the side where employees clocked in. You're early, Lily said, glancing up from stocking sleeves of cups near the soda machine. I figured I'd learn prep, Jared replied, tying his apron. Didn't get much of a chance yesterday. She hesitated. Craig's not here yet. He doesn't come in until lunch usually. Says mornings are low priority. Jared nodded. Okay, show me what you're doing. They went through the opening checklists, refilling sauces, prepping lettuce, slicing tomatoes. Lily worked fast, clearly used to doing it alone. Jared noticed her rubbing her wrist every few minutes. You all right? She looked startled. Yeah, just carrying soda boxes last week, it's nothing. He didn't push. By 9, Jenna arrived. She gave Jared the prep sheet without being asked and started pulling frozen patties from the walk-in. Trevor followed soon after. He looked tired, eyes heavy, and didn't say much. Jared joined him at the grill and quietly mirrored his movements, paying attention to the rhythm of flipping burgers, placing cheese, and timing buns. It was quiet for the next hour until Craig walked in. He didn't greet anyone. He went straight for the office, coffee in hand, and shut the door behind him. Trevor whispered, "He's in a mood." Jared kept his head down. By now, he'd learned that meant tread lightly. Around 11, a rush started building. Orders flowed in from both the counter and drive-through. Jenna was managing the register alone. Jared could hear the rising voices from the front. "I'm sorry, we don't have any more grilled chicken right now," Jenna said, trying to stay calm. "It'll be about 7 minutes if you want to wait." The customer, a middle-aged man in a polo, raised his voice. "That's ridiculous. It's lunch. You're a restaurant." Jared wiped his hands and moved toward the front, but he wasn't fast enough. Craig appeared from the office, sauntered up to the counter, and addressed the man. "Sir, we're happy to give you a discount on something else, or a refund, but yelling at my cashier won't get you chicken any faster." The man stared at him, taken aback. "I wasn't yelling." You were being rude, and this isn't a daycare," Craig said, voice raised just enough to draw attention. The man threw up his hands. "Forget it, I'm going to Burger Stop." He stormed out. Craig turned to Jenna. "Next time, don't engage, let them leave." "We don't beg people to stay." Jared watched Jenna's face harden. She didn't respond, just went back to the register. In the kitchen, things were heating up. A tray of fries hit the floor, oil splattered. Trevor grabbed a towel to clean it. "Leave it," Craig snapped, passing by. "We're behind." "Do it after the rush." Jared stopped flipping and looked over. "He's going to slip, then he'll learn to be faster." Trevor's hand froze mid-wipe. Jared stepped in and took the towel. "I've got it," he said, kneeling to clean the mess. Craig stared at him. "You work here 2 days and you're already taking initiative. Maybe Trevor could learn something from you." Trevor kept his eyes on the grill. Jared didn't answer. By 2 o'clock, the rush died down. People took quick sips of water. Jenna leaned against a counter, stretching her neck. No one had taken a break. "Hey, Craig," Jared asked, "what's the rotation for breaks?" Craig didn't look up from the tablet he was tapping. "We do rolling breaks. You get one if there's coverage. There hasn't been any coverage since I clocked in. Then you don't get one." Jared looked at Lily. She was pale, leaning against the freezer door, one hand on her hip. "When's the last time you sat down?" he asked her. She didn't answer. Craig spoke instead. "Lily's fine. She always handles mornings. If she needed a break, she'd ask." Jared took a step closer, lowering his voice. "You know she's been working since before opening, right? That's over 6 hours." Craig shrugged. "It's a restaurant. You think we're running a spa?" Jared stared at him. "Let her sit down for 15 minutes. Craig's expression darkened. "You don't tell me how to schedule. You're a trainee." Jared held the stare. "Right." He walked back to the prep station, heart pounding. By 4, shifts began changing. Trevor left. A new girl, Brianna, came in. She looked about 17, headphones around her neck, chewing gum and tapping her nails on the counter while waiting for someone to tell her what to do. Craig greeted her differently. "Hey, B, looking good today. You work in front or back?" "Front," she said, blowing a bubble and snapping it. He grinned. "Sweet. You get the good section." Jared caught Jenna's glance from the drive-through window. She didn't say anything, but her jaw tightened. Later, when Brianna knocked over a tray of cups and didn't bother to pick them up, Craig laughed. "Don't worry about it, B." Let one of the new guys grab it. Jared bent down silently and cleaned it. By 6, Jared was on garbage duty again. As he pulled the bags from the back, he found Lily sitting on a crate near the rear exit, eyes closed. "You all right?" he asked. She opened her eyes slowly. "I just needed 5 minutes. He won't notice. He's not out here." She gave a tired smile. "Yeah, but someone'll tell him. He always finds out." Jared sat down beside her. "You planning to stay here long term?" She laughed softly. "No, I want to do nursing, saving up for school." "My mom's sick, so I help cover bills." He nodded, unsure what to say. "I don't complain," she added, staring at the floor. "But some days it feels like the harder I work, the more invisible I get." He didn't respond. He couldn't, not without giving himself away. That night after close, Craig called a short meeting in the back. "All right, listen up. Numbers are down. That's not on me. That's on all of you." Jenna folded her arms. Trevor looked at the ground. Lily stood with her arms crossed, exhausted. "You gotta hustle harder." "I don't want to see people leaning, chatting, or taking breaks unless I say, 'Got it?'" No one answered. "I said got it," a few muttered replies. Craig turned to Jared. "You, new guy, you're picking it up fast. Keep it up." Jared forced a nod. After the meeting, Craig pulled him aside near the lockers. "You ever think about moving up? We need more people who don't whine. I could put in a word." "What happened to the last shift lead?" Jared asked. Craig shrugged. "Didn't work out, too soft." Jared let the silence stretch. "Think about it," Craig added, heading toward the exit. Jared stood there, heart racing. He wasn't thinking about a promotion. He was thinking about tomorrow and how it would be Craig's last day. Jared arrived Thursday morning without clocking in. He didn't need to. That part of the act was over. He stood just outside the back entrance, watching the sun rise over the strip mall parking lot. A truck rumbled by, delivering frozen inventory to a convenience store 2 doors down. Inside the restaurant, the lights were already on. Lily had opened again. He waited until the team had settled in and the morning rush began. Then he opened the rear door with his master key and stepped inside. No apron. No name tag, just a clean white button-up and dark jeans. His real self. Lily glanced up from the prep table and froze. Jenna, filling the soda machine, paused mid-pour. Craig wasn't on the floor yet. Jared walked straight to the office. The door was cracked. Craig sat inside, feet propped on the desk, watching something on his phone with the volume on low. He looked up, confused. Then his brow furrowed. "You need something?" Craig asked, standing slowly. Jared closed the door behind him. "Yeah, I do." Craig folded his arms. "You're not scheduled. Who even let you in?" "You've been managing this place for how long?" Jared asked quietly. Craig blinked. "What? Answer the question." "Little over 3 years," Craig said, voice defensive now. "Why?" Jared nodded once. "Then you've had 3 years too many." Craig frowned. "Hold up, who do you think you are?" Jared stepped forward. "Jared Fletcher. Owner of this entire company." The air in the room changed. Craig's mouth opened, but no sound came out. "I've been working your floor since Monday, scrubbing fryers, taking orders, watching how you run this store." Craig's voice cracked slightly. This is insane." No one said anything. "No one knew," Jared said. "That was the point." Craig looked toward the door. "So what, you're here to play gotcha? You think you understand this job after 4 shifts? "I understand enough," Jared said calmly. "I understand that you ignore safety standards. I understand that you base shift assignments on who flatters you. I understand that you corner female employees when they're alone. That's not none of that is." Jared raised his voice just enough to cut through the excuses. "You make teenagers work 6-hour shifts without breaks. You humiliate them in front of customers. You reward laziness when it benefits you and punish effort when it doesn't." Craig took a step back. "Look, this place is hard to run. We're understaffed. These kids don't listen. You gotta be tough or they walk all over you." "You weren't tough," Jared said. "You were careless, dangerous, and you're done." Craig's voice rose. "You can't just walk in here and fire me. You're terminated effective immediately." "I don't need your permission." Craig stood frozen, chest heaving. "I'll give you 10 minutes to clear your things," Jared said. Do not speak to the team, do not try to justify anything. You're finished. Craig's jaw twitched. He looked like he might argue again, but then he turned and began unplugging his tablet charger from the wall. Jared opened the office door and stepped into the kitchen. Lily stood near the fryers, hands still. Jenna was watching from the register. He's gone, Jared said. As of now, no one spoke. Some of you know me as Jay. My real name is Jared Fletcher. I own this chain. I've spent the last 4 days working beside you because I needed to understand what was happening here. Trevor had just arrived and stood frozen near the lockers, backpack half off. I saw more than I wanted to, Jared continued, and less than I should have. That's on me. I should have been here sooner. He looked at each of them. No one deserves to be treated the way you've been treated, not at work, not anywhere. Jenna finally spoke. So what happens now? Now, Jared said, we fix it. He stepped into the dining area and gestured for everyone to join him. They left their stations one by one. The store was quiet early enough that the next rush hadn't started yet. We'll bring in a temp manager from one of our top-performing stores. She'll be here tomorrow. Her name's Denise. She's fair, experienced, and she's not afraid to step in where needed. She'll run things until we find a permanent replacement. Lily raised a hand slightly. What if the next one's just like him? Jared nodded. It's a fair question. That's why I've changed our hiring protocol. All future managers will be interviewed directly by someone from the executive team. No more promoting based on tenure alone. We'll also require anonymous feedback from staff every quarter. Your voices will be heard directly. Trevor spoke up cautious. Does that mean we can actually report stuff without getting scheduled less? Yes, Jared said. Starting today, retaliation for speaking up is an automatic fireable offense. You'll also each receive a direct contact to someone in HR, someone who is not your supervisor. Brianna, leaning against the corner wall, shifted uncomfortably. So, are we all in trouble too? I mean, for putting up with it? No, Jared said firmly. You're not. You did your jobs, you showed up. You shouldn't have had to manage your own manager. He looked around. I'm giving every one of you a bonus this week equal to 1 full paycheck. It's not everything, but it's a start. Trevor blinked. Why? Because you earned it, Jared said, and because I didn't come here just to watch, I came to change things. He turned to Jenna. You've been holding this place together. If you're willing, I want you to step into a temporary shift lead role, pay bump included. She hesitated. I've never led before. You've been leading all week. She looked down, then nodded once. Jared turned to Lily. You're not on the clock for another 2 hours. Go take a real break. Sit down, eat something. I've already adjusted the schedule. She opened her mouth to speak, but didn't. She just nodded and disappeared to the back. Jared turned back to the group. We're not going to fix everything today, but we're going to start, and I'll be around every week. Different stores, different shifts. No more distance between head office and the floor. No one applauded. No one cheered. But they didn't need to. They just stood a little straighter. As the team returned to their stations, Jared sat briefly in the dining area watching them work. The movements looked the same. The uniforms hadn't changed, but something had shifted. He watched Trevor flip a burger and nod as Jenna gave him a quick thumbs up. He watched Brianna actually sweep up the tray area without being asked. He saw Lily return from the back, holding a sandwich and a bottle of water, and sit at a table near the window. He exhaled. The store felt different now. And for the first time in a long time, Jared didn't feel like he was just running a company. He felt like he was part of it. 2 weeks later, Jared stepped out of his car and stood across the parking lot from store 13. The morning sun reflected off the front windows, and inside, the kitchen bustled with the focused rhythm of a team that had been through more than most locations ever would. He hadn't returned since Craig's removal. That had been intentional. Denise needed time to stabilize the store on her own terms, and the staff needed space to work without wondering if the owner was watching their every move. He entered through the front this time, no back door, no apron, no act. The bell above the door gave a short chime. Jenna spotted him from behind the register. Her posture didn't falter, but she raised an eyebrow and gave a small nod of recognition. "Morning," Jared said. "Hey," she replied, voice even. "You here for a meeting or just watching us try not to burn the place down?" "I was hoping to see how things are going. Thought I'd start with some coffee." She pulled a fresh pot from the warmer and poured without asking. "Black, right?" he smiled. "You remembered." "I remember who cleans the fryers." He paid, took the cup, and sat near the window. The layout hadn't changed, but the tone inside had. Conversations were more fluid, movement sharper, and no one looked over their shoulder after taking a breath. Denise emerged from the back, clipboard in hand. She wore a simple gray polo and black slacks, hair tied back, no makeup, no corporate stiffness, just competence. "Good to see you," she said, joining him. "I figured you'd swing by eventually." "You've made a difference already," Jared said, watching Lily at the prep station. "I don't see anyone flinching when a manager walks in." "I didn't do much. They were ready for better. I just cleared a path," he nodded slowly. "How's the turnover?" "Stabilizing. No one's quit since I arrived. A few schedule tweaks helped. I trimmed Craig's bloated weekend roster and added a second opener on Mondays. It's not perfect yet, but it's sustainable." "And Jenna?" "She's got a grip on things, still learning to delegate. She's used to solving everything herself, but she's earned the team's trust, and that's half the job." As if on cue, Jenna leaned over the counter to speak with a new employee, a quiet boy who looked barely 16. She wasn't lecturing. She was listening. Jared glanced down at his coffee. "What about Brianna?" Denise exhaled. "That one took some work. She was skating by before, didn't take much seriously. I gave her a direct assignment to run front of house cleaning for a week, documented her performance, gave her feedback, kept it structured. And she stepped up. Turns out it wasn't laziness. No one had ever told her what good work looked like. She needed boundaries and someone who actually followed through." He looked up. "You think she can stay long-term? She's showing up on time now, wears the full uniform, doesn't joke through orders. She's not a star yet, but she stopped hiding. That's worth something." "And Trevor," Denise tilted her head, "still quiet, but I moved him to mid-shifts. He does better when the pace is steady, less overwhelmed." Jenna's been giving him space to manage the grill at his own speed, and his output's improved. Slow but consistent. Jared watched the boy now, flipping pattas with focused hands. There was no shake in them anymore. "Anyone not working out?" Denise hesitated. "We had a part-timer from another store fill in last Thursday. Ethan, arrogant kid, ignored safety protocols, made a comment about another employee's weight on the line. I pulled him into the office and told him he wouldn't be back. Fired on the spot." Jared looked at her. "You didn't run it up the chain." "I didn't need to. We both agreed on zero tolerance. I applied it." He nodded. "Good. Besides," she added, "I don't need to ask permission to do my job." They both smiled at that. Later that afternoon, Jared called a staff meeting. No suits, no cameras. Just the people who made the store work. They gathered near the booths, aprons loose around their waists, hands still damp from wiping counters. "I want to thank all of you," Jared began, "not just for hanging in through a rough transition, but for proving something bigger. This store isn't just a business. It's a team. And teams only work when people trust each other." He turned to Jenna. "You've exceeded every expectation we had. Starting next month, you're being promoted to assistant manager, full benefits, new training track, and a mentor at HQ to guide you through it." Jenna looked stunned. "I thought this was still temporary." "It was," he said, "but temporary doesn't explain how you kept this place from falling apart." "That's leadership." Lily gave Jenna a quiet nudge with her elbow. Jenna blinked, then nodded once. "Thank you," she said. "I'm in." Jared turned to Lily. "I spoke with corporate. There's a scholarship fund we've had for 2 years. It's never been used. You're the first person I'm nominating. It won't cover everything, but it'll help with tuition if you stay on part-time." Her mouth opened slightly, but she didn't speak. She just looked down and nodded. "Trevor," Jared continued, "Denise told me you've been rock solid on the grill. I want to send you to our culinary workshop next month." It's designed for kitchen leads in training. You'd be the youngest one there, but I think you're ready. Trevor scratched his neck. I don't know if you are, he didn't argue, and Brianna, Jared said, turning to her. I heard about the improvements. You stepped up, that matters. I'm giving you a shot at floor coordinator next month. 1 shift per week to start. Show us you can handle it. She nodded quickly, not quite smiling but not brushing it off either. Jared took a breath. We're not done improving, but what matters is that we're building something real here. Not just a place to grab a burger, a place where people grow. Denise stepped forward. I've got one more announcement. Jared raised an eyebrow. She turned to Jenna. You're not the only one getting promoted. Lily's stepping into shift lead next month. She's already been training new hires and managing inventory without being asked. Lily looked up sharply. Wait, I thought I was just helping. You were, Denise said, but you were also leading. Lily looked around. Everyone was watching her. She didn't cry or smile. She just stood a little straighter. All right, Jared said. Back to work before we fall behind. The team scattered. Orders started coming in again. The fryer hissed. The register beeped. Jared stayed for a few more hours, not as a boss, but as an observer. He saw Brianna cover for a teammate without being asked. He watched Jenna train a new hire with calm, clear steps. He saw Lily pull Trevor aside and quietly correct a mistake on the burger line. No judgment, just direction. The store wasn't perfect. It never would be. But it was safe. It was functional. It was human. And for the first time, Jared knew it didn't need his constant presence to keep running. It just needed the right people. Empowered, respected, trusted. As he stepped outside into the fading afternoon light, he looked back once at the windows. Inside, the team moved with purpose. He didn't feel like an owner walking away. He felt like someone leaving his company in good hands.